All right. Hello, everybody. I'm back with another update. It's been a couple days, and so let me just talk about that really quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a daily post, but I will be doing, at the very least, a block-by-block post. So each 90 hours, I'll do a post, and I'll give a recap if I can't do a daily post. There's just a couple things that came up. I got busy, and I couldn't post, so I just want to let you guys know what's going on. I didn't quit or anything. I'm continuing on. And here are the results. So I've got 3 days. I think I did an update for the first 24 hours of the second block, but let's just recap again. Okay. And I'm sorry about the glare on my glasses, but I have to look at my monitor because it's got all the data on it. And yeah, okay. So going to have to deal with that, I guess, until we get a better light or something. I'm not too sure. So first 24 hours of the recap, there was a weight gain of 3.4 pounds after the refeed. I don't know what that was all about. It's going to be interesting to see what my weight is tomorrow because today is a refeed day. So is it like I'm eating too much? I mean, I don't get it because the day before or the day of the refeed, I walked 5 miles. I burnt like 4,000 calories. There's no way that I ate more than 4,000 calories, but maybe I did. I no idea. Okay, so at any rate, I gained 3.4 pounds. The following day, we're now into 48 hours. I dropped back down 2 pounds. And so I was at 220. So, I'm sorry, 4.25. I was at 222.6. And then 4.5, I was at 220. So I dropped that 2.6. The 72 hours, getting in a 72-hour range, I dropped an additional pound in the 72-hour range. And then the day of refeed, before I started eating again, I'm down to 27.4. So a net loss for this 90-hour block is 5.2 pounds lost. A total loss over the last 180 hours is 11.4. And then you have the daily splits, right? How much I'm losing. I gained 3.4, but then lost 2.6, lost 1, lost 1.6. So like I said, a net of 5.2 lost, which is okay. I mean, it's not as big as the first block, which was a net loss of 9.6, but that, you know, I think that's to be expected that first loss was going to be the largest. I'm happy with the loss of 5.2 in 4 days. That's a lot of weight. So, you know, more weight than probably, I don't know. They say you should lose, like, from what I've been reading, is you should lose like a pound a week. But okay, so this is an extreme, right? You're fasting. I'm trying to get to a weight that I'm happy with and then maintain that weight. And because I was at such a extreme of weight, I mean, 228. I mean, that's a lot of weight. I was obese. You know, that clocks into the obese range, right? So main goal is to start getting back down, getting into a range where exercising doesn't feel so painful, and then doing exercise on a daily basis, even if it's just walking, doing some exercise on a daily basis, and then of course eating right. You know, eating a keto diet. So what else is going on with some of the numbers? I have, I did measure my ketones, and I'm at 2.0 ketones. And so if you remember the chart that I had for the ketones where they're saying the optimal ketone level, the optimal ketone level is like 1 to 3, probably 2 being a really, really good number. And then anything between 2 and 3, you're not going to see any more than between 1 and 2. From what I've been reading, from this company that I've been reading, they're the ones that's measuring, and they're the ones that giving me the data and their information on the data. If you go look it up, there's various different ideas of what the best ketone level to be at. But okay, I'm using this, so I'm at 2, and 2 is good, right? What else? I did take pictures of my weight, and you're not going to see much of a difference. I mean, I did lose that 11 pounds, but I don't know that it's 100% noticeable. It'd be hard to find it. Could be my legs, could be my butt, could be my wherever, right? What else? I'll start adding the Fitbit stuff. The Fitbit's kind of weird though. When you look at it, it's always going to say like my date on the top is always going to say yesterday because I'm looking at the previous day. So maybe I'll overwrite that and put in what the actual date is on the top of that with just a little graphic. But then you can see what I'm doing with the Fitbit and how the Fitbit is measuring. Matter of fact, I need to put my Fitbit back on. I was charging it. What else? That's pretty much about it. Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about effects that I've been having. The second 90-hour block of fasting was significantly easier than the first 90-hour block. I knew what to expect. My body did much better. The first day I wasn't really as crazy hungry. Second day I was hungry, but just drink water. And the last 72, 90 hours was, it was good. The last 24 hours of, that composes of the 72, 90 hours was okay. My math is off. Sorry. So maybe that's an effect of not eating. I can't do math anymore. I did forget the Kiko to my house the other day, yesterday, coming home. So I don't know, pretty hungry. Did I cheat? I did cheat a little bit. And so the whole idea of fasting, you're not supposed to eat anything. And I can't say that I ate anything significant. My wife 2 days ago cooked some steak and she cut it up and it had a bunch of fat on the top. It almost looked like a piece of pork where you had that fatty part on the bottom and then you had some meat on the bottom. Well, I had one piece, maybe two, but they were very, very small. They weren't big. I would say no more than an ounce of food. And then yesterday she made Brussels sprouts and broccoli, which are two really great vegetables for the keto diet. And so I had, 2 pieces of Brussels sprouts and 2 pieces of broccoli. And then she had the leftover meat there. And I think I had 2 pieces of that leftover meat, but maybe that was an ounce of food, maybe a little bit more than an ounce of food, but nothing that kind of like jumped out. Why did I do that? Well, the first time, it just looked so damn good. There's no excuse for it. The second time, though, here's the other side effect that I've had. Constipation. And I've never had constipation in my life. Maybe when I was sick or something that I had constipation. But man, I had some serious constipation. So that food on the refeed really it was blocking me up big time. And I had a very hard time passing it. And so I did some additional reading, and that is one of the side effects of the keto diet is not enough fiber. And you wind up having constipation. Matter of fact, they say a large amount of people that are doing the keto diet have constipation. So, but they said to offset that with, fiber as vegetables. And of course, vegetables are part of the keto diet. I'm not doing a carnivore diet. So vegetables are part of it, but to be consciously aware that I'm getting enough fiber in so that I don't have that problem. And I think I'm probably going to have to supplement with maybe a daily fiber pill or something like that, which is no big deal, or maybe drink something that's fibrous. But again, most of the stuff that is very fibrous is carbs, and that's what you're trying to avoid in the keto diet. So, okay, not an expert, not by any stretch of the imagination. Getting there. Maybe by the time a year or two goes by, I'll be an expert at this whole thing. Right now, I'm not. What have I changed on my refeed? The first refeed was a little bit uncomfortable. Towards the end of the evening, I was kind of feeling a little crampy, and it almost felt like there was a block of stuff in my stomach. So I've changed it. And you'll see on the Excel file that I had, something on the top that said, drink some bone broth, because I was doing some reading that bone broth after feed really reactivates the enzymes in your stomach to start digesting. So started off with a bone broth and have done that and wait a couple hours so that your stomach can, digest some stuff, and then start eating other things. And then going into, I'm going to eat a salad, or I'm going to eat some sort of leafy vegetable of some type, and then go into a protein, which is, I have that leftover chicken from the last time, so I'm going to eat that leftover chicken. and then probably finish off the soup that I made. That broccoli soup was so freaking good. I'm gonna finish off that broccoli soup, and that's gonna be my refeed. And so I stretched out my refeed a little bit because I added in the bone broth. So the bone broth is the earlier part of the day, and then getting into the refeed between 3 to 7, and then stopping at 7, and then starting this process all over again for block number 3. And so how many blocks do we have to do? I don't know. I got to count it up. Like I said, math head. I'm not a math head right now, but there's a lot. It's a lot of blocks for 90 days. And I think it's like 50 something. I don't know. Maybe that number's too high. And sorry, I'm hiccuping because I had some bone broth after not eating anything in a while. Anyways, that's my recap. So, hey, if you have any comments, I mean, somebody found me the other day, and I noticed that some people are watching this. And hey, man, I really appreciate everybody who watches this thing, and solely for me, but I appreciate you guys watching. And if you make a comment and let me know, I mean, if you're like a keto expert or something and you've been doing this for years and years, I mean, let me know. Give me some advice on your experience of keto. Let me know what you're eating, and let me know what you're experiencing, and is it true about the whole constipation thing, and all that other good stuff. If you're like a fasting master and you've done like fasting for a long period of time, and let me know what your experiences of that is. I'd be grateful to hear from you guys. But at any rate, I'm out. See you guys later. Bye.